Hello, my name is Michael Guzwell. This is my video for my Tableau 2 final project. This is for ISM. I am a finance student, second year at USF. So I started out, my first sheet was a department sales from the data. I have each department listed and their respective amounts of sales. I found this interesting when I was looking at it in Excel. I found that the fishing department had a much larger sales revenue than the other two. It actually exceeded the jet boats by more than 400 million. So I decided to look into this. I dived a little deeper and I found the sales by state for the fishing department specifically. I found California, New York, and Texas were much larger than all the others. And I sorted this by states that had more than 10 million in sales. And then I kept a filter over here so I could look at the other data. And from looking at all three, I saw fishing still had the biggest in these three. So I went a little deeper and I found geographically the states with the highest sales. I have them marked. So fishing department, they had 139 million in sales, and then Texas and then New York. Compared to all the others, they are much darker in the higher range. You can see that none of these are in the same region. I created a filter here so I could select. You can see in the west is only California. South has none of the highest, and then east, and then central, and then central. Final thing I wanted to look at was their sales throughout the years of 2018 and 2019. So I filtered quarterly for the fishing in all three of these outlier states. I found significant decreases coming into 2019. So all three of them started to decline at the beginning of 2019, around there. And then I marked the significant trends. For my first dashboard, I put all this together and I wanted to show everything combined. You can see that all three of these highlight those three outlier states that I was talking about earlier. Coming together with all of these, it shows the drastic difference between these three states compared to the next highest and the trends that they follow quarter to quarter. After getting to this point, I realized I've been focusing specifically on the fishing department, so I decided to look more into all of them combined. So I created another sheet with all three departments and I listed them by highest fishing. And you can see I have a filter over here. So if you want to look at one specifically, I can hit all of them. I filtered this a little bit different than the first one. The last one was showing states that had 10 million in sales just for fishing. This one is filtered for 10 million in sales overall. So even though this only has 766,000 for Arkansas, if you combine all of their three departments, it comes up to 10 million. And then from that, I made another geographic map and I highlighted the top 10 states with their highest sales in those states. So cabin cruisers for Pennsylvania, but then in New York, it would be fishing because they had a higher sales in the fishing department than they had in the cabin cruiser department. From all this information, I was able to create another dashboard showing the changes between these two sheets. From here, you are able to select which region you want to look at, and you can see which one had the highest sales for their area. And then finally, I put it all together in an analysis. I started with what I began just showing what I wanted to focus on, and it was comparing the departments to each other, and it showed that the fishing department exceeded by more than 4 million. I went to the fishing department to show those 3 outliers to really understand what we're trying to look towards, and then what those outliers are significant. And we can use this information to look at why these changes were happening, why was 2019 declining, and why was 2018 so good. And we can try to go back to those 2018 records and try to improve the 2019-2020 sales. And then we come to the geographic fishing sales. We can see which areas sold the best and what can we improve in these other areas that weren't the best, but they were still in the top 10, top 20, and how we can get them up there. And then sales by state, which shows the sales in each department filtered by total sales of 10 million. And then finally, these top 10 states with the runner-ups and what their sales are highlighted. My specific recommendation would be to improve sales going forward. It would be to see why the largest sources of sales, the fishing department, has been declining in 2019. And then in each high sales state, what made it different from 2018 that created such demand for that product. And this concludes my Tableau 2 project. Thank you.